Itohan felt lost. She wandered through her days, feeling like a ghost in her own life. Her life was a whirlwind of obligations and worries. Every day was a race against time, a struggle to keep up with endless demands. Her demanding job drained her energy. Late nights at the office left her feeling like a shell of herself, her passion and drive slowly eroding away. Strained relationships left her feeling isolated and alone. Arguments and misunderstandings created a chasm between her and those she loved. Self-doubt whispered insidious thoughts, casting long shadows over her confidence and aspirations. She questioned her worth and her ability to achieve her dreams. Each night she lay awake. Sleep evaded her grasp. The quiet darkness only amplified her worries, making rest an elusive dream.
I can't escape this overwhelming feeling that I'm adrift in a vast, turbulent sea. The waves of life keep crashing over me, and I can't find my footing.
She longed for peace, for a moment of quiet in the storm, a brief respite where she could catch her breath and find clarity. But peace felt as distant as a star in the vast expanse of the night sky. It shimmered just out of reach, a beautiful but unattainable dream. The weight of her troubles pressed down, threatening to consume her. Each problem felt like a heavy stone added to her burden. Doubt gnawed at her soul, whispering that things might never change. She feared that this overwhelming sense of being adrift would be her constant companion. One afternoon, Itohan found herself drawn to a quiet corner in a cozy cafe. The soft hum of conversations and the aroma of freshly brewed coffee created a comforting atmosphere. She hoped a change of scenery might offer a brief respite from the relentless turmoil within. The weight of her worries seemed lighter in this serene environment. As she sipped her coffee, her gaze fell upon an older woman seated nearby. The woman's presence seemed to exude a calmness that was almost palpable. The woman was engrossed in a worn Bible, her face radiating a serenity that Itohan craved. It was as if the world around her had no power to disturb her peace. Intrigued and desperate for answers, Itohan gathered her courage and approached the woman. She felt a strange pull, a need to understand the source of this tranquility.
Excuse me, I couldn't help but notice the peace you seem to have. It's something I've been searching for. How do you stay so calm and hopeful in a world that feels so chaotic? I feel like I'm constantly battling a storm within.
The older woman looked up, her eyes reflecting a kindness that warmed Itohan's troubled heart. There was a depth in her gaze that spoke of wisdom and experience. A gentle smile graced her lips as she closed her Bible and gestured for Itohan to sit with her. It was an invitation not just to sit, but to share, to connect, and perhaps to find the solace Itohan so desperately needed. As they sat together, the older woman began to speak, her voice soft yet filled with conviction. She shared stories of her own struggles and the faith that had carried her through. Itohan listened intently, feeling a sense of hope slowly blossom within her. In that moment, she realized that peace was not the absence of turmoil, but the presence of faith and understanding.
Dear child, I've weathered many storms in my lifetime. Life's journey is often fraught with challenges and uncertainties.
Itohan felt an immediate connection with this stranger, sensing a kindred spirit who understood the depths of her struggles.
There were times when I felt battered and lost, just as you do now. But in the midst of those trials, I discovered an anchor for my soul prayer. It was through prayer that I found my way back to peace, back to hope.
Her words, spoken with such conviction, resonated deep within Itohan, sparking a flicker of hope in the darkness of her despair. The older woman went on to explain that prayer wasn't a magic formula to erase life's problems. It wasn't a quick fix or a way to avoid the challenges that life inevitably brings. Instead, it was a source of inner strength, a way to find peace amidst the chaos.
It doesn't always calm the storm, but it provides the strength and the courage to face the storm with grace and resilience. It helps us to stand firm, even when the winds are howling and the rain is pouring down.
This concept, so simple yet profound, struck a chord within Itohan. She realized that faith wasn't about avoiding difficulties, but about finding the strength to endure them.
When I surrender my worries and fears to God, He replaces them with a peace that transcends understanding. It's a peace that doesn't make sense in the midst of turmoil, but it's real and it's powerful. He doesn't promise to remove our burdens, but He promises to walk beside us, to be our constant companion in times of trouble, to carry us when we stumble, to lift us up when we fall, and to give us the strength to keep going, and to guide us through the darkest of nights. Even when the path is unclear, his light will show us the way.
Itohan listened intently, her heart beginning to open to the possibility of finding solace in faith. She felt a sense of hope, a glimmer of light in her own dark night, and she knew that she was not alone.
Opening her Bible once more, the woman pointed to a passage underlined in red ink, Psalm 46:10. "Be still," she read aloud, her voice filled with quiet power, "and know that I am God." She looked at Itohan, her gaze filled with compassion. "These words, my dear, have been my lifeline through countless storms. When the waves of worry and fear threaten to overwhelm you," she continued, "remember these words. Find a quiet place, close your eyes, and simply breathe. In the stillness, you will find him. In the silence, you will hear his voice whispering peace to your troubled soul."
Section 6. A new perspective. Itohan left the cafe that day with a renewed sense of hope, a seed of faith planted deep within her heart. She clung to the words of Psalm 46 verse 10 as a lifeline, repeating them like a mantra whenever doubt and fear threatened to consume her. She began to incorporate prayer into her daily routine, not as a chore or an obligation, but as an opportunity to connect with something greater than herself. As she poured out her heart to God, she discovered a sense of release, a lightening of the burden she had been carrying for so long. Section 7. Finding strength in surrender. Prayer didn't magically erase Itohan's problems. Her job was still demanding, and her relationships still required effort and understanding. But her perspective had shifted. She no longer felt like she was facing her challenges alone. In the stillness of prayer, she found the strength to face each day with renewed courage and determination. She learned to let go of the need to control everything, to surrender her worries to a higher power, and in that surrender, she discovered a peace that surpassed all understanding. Section 8. The transforming power of prayer. As days turned into weeks, Itohan began to notice subtle yet profound changes within herself. Her anxieties lessened, replaced by a quiet confidence and a deep-seated sense of peace. Her relationships, once strained, began to heal as she approached them with greater patience and understanding. Itohan realized that prayer hadn't changed her circumstances, but it had transformed her from within. It had empowered her to face her challenges with grace and resilience, knowing that she was never truly alone. Section 9. A heart at peace. Itohan's journey was far from over, but she no longer felt adrift in a sea of uncertainty. She had found an anchor for her soul, a source of strength and hope that guided her through life's inevitable storms. The seed of faith planted by a kind stranger in a quiet cafe had blossomed into a steadfast belief that sustained her and filled her with an abiding peace. For Itohan, prayer became more than just words. It became her lifeline, her sanctuary, her constant companion on the journey of life.